All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth. Today, we're going to be talking about the best 5 starting heroes for all of you. Quick disclaimer before we get into the characters and why I think they are the best. This is very much a day 1, day 2, day 3 kind of video. So if you just got the game, these are the characters to start with that'll kind of help you get your focus in the right direction. Some of them you will get very easily. The game itself will give them to you. Others you're going to have to go out of your way a little bit to farm as soon as you get high enough levels. That's also another disclaimer. I am playing the beta. If you end up finding this video after global launch, very likely that things have changed after beta, so be sure to check the most current videos. I very likely will redo this video once the game goes into global launch because they tend to do kit changes and things like that you just kind of got to watch out for. So, okay, the first 3 characters I'm going to talk about in this game are Aragorn, or Strider, Frodo, and Pippin. Those 3 have great synergies together, and you're going to get Aragorn and Frodo very easily. Pippin, you will have to go out of your way to farm in the guild store. Now, Strider is just a very good character in general. Good damage, good utility. He is also at level 2 of his unique, going to grant additional damage to those Hobbit allies. And the Hobbits deal decent damage as well, so you're going to want to keep him in your squad with those Hobbits. So I would definitely focus on Aragorn right away. He is my first Gear 5 character, which is, you know, really evidence of some awesome work with him as well. Utility-wise, he's got some good abilities. He's going to grant stealth to Hobbits. He's going to keep them nice and hidden. I love that nod to the lore. Aragorn is a protector of the Hobbits, of course. And then you can see here the damage stats there are just nice. I really like the utility of adding burning on that. And then also keep in mind when you're using that basic, just target those characters that have debuffs or banes. For those of you who are playing Galaxy of Heroes, a debuff equals a bane in this game because you're going to get a little extra damage boost with Aragorn there. Frodo's the next one that I think that you guys need to focus on here pretty early in the game. Frodo's easy to get. I forgot to mention with Aragorn, you're also going to be getting his shards just from completing your dailies. Frodo, you're going to have a lot of options to get his shards as well in the quests. And so they're characters that are just going to kind of naturally farm themselves as you go. Frodo so far has maybe my favorite animation slash lore nod ability, where he's got this last resort ability where the animation literally is him putting the ring on and going into stealth, which is just really fun. But beyond that, you've got all of this stealth synergy here with the Hobbits. When a Hobbit squad member dodges an attack, grant that character stealth for 1 turn. That dodge, you're going to have a little synergy with the dodges over with Pippin, which we'll talk about here in a second. You've got the damage there. This damage cannot be dodged. And you've got the morale, which is going to be just a flat stat increase by 10 to 2 light side squad members. There is some awesome synergy with Sam. Sam's a bit harder to get, and so eventually you're going to want to have him, but here at the beginning, I'm not too worried about getting Sam personally. I'm not too close to getting him. And then also on his basic, having Pippin in there is really nice, and we'll talk a little bit about Merry later on. But you got a 25% chance to call a Hobbit to assist. So every time you're doing that basic ability, you're going to have a chance for some additional damage there. And so there's a lot of synergies in there that are pretty fun, and these are easy characters to access early on. Okay, the first character you're going to kind of have to go out of your way to farm is Pippin. This is the number 3 character on our list for today's video. You're going to find Pippin right in here in your guild battles. You're going to have only 20 attempts a day. I recommend doing those every single day. And, oh gosh, we're out of energy. And so we're just going to do that. And boom, how many shards we get? 6. Very nice. I would recommend at least unlocking him. I am personally just going to farm him from here on out. But Pippin has a lot of really cool things. I love this life of the party ability. Now, you're not going to worry too much about Nimble until you have got Merry in your squad. But Fury, that is a 50% damage increase for your whole squad. That is a nice little buff. And then once you do have Merry in the squad, you're going to have a 50% chance to grant him nimble, which is going to be evading that next attack. And remember, there's some synergy over there with Frodo on those dodges. And so life of the party is very good. Of course, he is also a healer. Always nice to have some healing on your squad. Healing, especially in the early game, can be just absolutely critical. Basic is pretty basic in this case. Having a chance, 50% chance to dispel is always nice. And then his unique, he's going to have that resistance and turn meter, which is very good. Whenever a Hobbit ally receives any damage at all, 20%, 5% chance to gain 5% turn meter. And so in these turn-based games, ladies and gentlemen, anytime you see turn meter on the menu, it's a good thing to see. You got to have that turn meter gain wherever you can find it. And so, in my opinion, those are the top 3 to get right away. Now, I want to talk also about Merry. He's a little bit harder to get at first because you do need to be at least at level 25 to unlock Arena. I don't have him yet. I'm still at level 24, and so I'm about to be able to farm this. But once you're there, you can get him in the Arena store, and you'll get him pretty quick. It'll just take a few days to get him up there. But just more Hobbit synergy with Merry. He really makes things pretty solid. You've got more of that turn meter gain. You always want to see that turn meter gain. Haste is going to be the same thing as speed up, 25%. Stamina is going to be nice as well. I actually don't fully understand what stamina does. Each ally requires a certain number of stamina before points. I'll have to research that. I'm not sure I fully understand exactly what stamina does yet. You got the dispel of the debuffs, and you've got marked, which is going to be that forced taunt, which Galaxy of Heroes fans will know everything about marked. And so very good, very, very good. And then you, like Frodo, you got that 25% chance to call a Hobbit to assist on the basic, and it will prioritize Pippin. And so if you can get Aragorn, Frodo, Pippin, and Merry in the same squad, you have got a pretty solid beginning light side squad right there with a lot of good synergy in there. Now, the question begs, who is going to be the 5th character you want in there? Before you get Merry, I recommend Halbrad and Dunedain to start with. And then I'm conflicted on who to drop because I really like Dunedain. I think you do want to drop her and put Halbrad in there because he's just going to be a good tank. He's going to have extra healing, etc. But what I love about Dunedain is she really serves up the hobbits and Aragorn for that matter to lay some pretty big hits because she's got 2 options to make the other team vulnerable. Right here on her second special, she's going to inflict expose, which is going to, reduce that armor by 50%, which is nice. And then on her basic, she can inflict vulnerable, which means incoming damage is increased by 25%. And so when you combine those 2 things with these damage dealers, especially after Pippin is able to get everyone's damage boost, and then you've got that incoming damage increased or the expose on there, it just works nicely together. So that's why I really like Dunedain, and you're just going to get her just for playing the game. Halbrad's the same way, though, and what's really nice about Halbrad is he's got the taunt, and he's the tank, and you really do kind of want to have that taunt on your team so you can keep that damage focused where you want that damage to be focused. Not to mention he also has a healing ability, which Pippin also has a healing ability, so maybe Pippin's healing is enough, but if you can have 2 of those healings at the same time, it's going to be very nice. And this healing is probably better than Pippin's healing based on anecdote. I haven't really dug into the weeds on exactly who's going to give you the best bang for your buck there, but it feels like his does a little bit better. And then his unique is nice as well. You're just going to gain that extra health for him, which is going to be, making him a more formidable tank for you guys. And so those are the 5 characters I recommend. So Aragorn, Frodo, Pippin, Halbrad, and Merry. And while you're waiting for Merry, toss Dunedain in there. Now, I also, before we end the video, I want to talk about another team that you guys are going to want to keep your eyes on. The Goblin Squad seems to be very, very solid. I do not have the full team yet, but it looks like once you're able to get that full squad of goblins, there is a ton of synergy in there. This is what I'm hearing on the street. I have actually not dug into all of the nuances for the Goblin Squad kits, especially because I don't have Goblin Quickshot. anywhere near to my squad right now. I forget how you unlock him. Oh yeah, he's arena as well. That's right. So once you get to arena, maybe you get your Mary up and running, and maybe you get Great Goblin taken care of and Goblin Quit Shot, and see how that works for you. But it sounds like that may be potentially an early stage arena meta to keep your eyes on here in the beta. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys are enjoying this game. If you need some more information on how to download the game, I've got a link down below in the description to a Discord server, which gives you all of the details. You actually can. I just learned today, you don't have to play the game on Android. You can play the game on Apple. It sounds like all you need to do is basically create an Apple ID with an address linked to the Philippines, a new Apple ID, and then you can go into the App Store and download the game, because that is where the game is live. And then there's another workaround that you can do this on Android. So, game is very accessible. Be sure to check it out. Let me know what you guys think, and we will continue making content for this game. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And as always, my brothers, don't forget,